Welcome everybody to our energetic tune-up for May 2023. Yeah, you all know me. We do these energetic tune-up sessions once a month. Within allows me, to come up with the forecasts, not just for us here as humans that are trying to understand ourselves and the world better, but also for yourself. So it's not really a prediction. Please don't confuse this. When I do the energetic tune-up, I am clearing your energy field of that which is in the way for you to best tune into the energies and utilize these energies that are coming in. Every month brings in different kind of energies. Obviously, it's not by the calendar day, but there are some things that we can see ahead of time, important dates and so forth, where shifts occur. And these energies all lead to a greater evolution of mankind, even if they trigger discomfort or if they challenge us. And there always is, a challenge and an opportunity with each of these energies that are coming in. Let me go into the forecast for May 23 real quick and give you a bit of an overview of how this looks like collectively. We all obviously have our own individual journey, and these things apply to us in different ways. But it's important to understand that there is sort of a canvas which kind of sets up the energies around us, okay, to trigger something in us, if that makes sense. Yeah, and so the value of these forecasts is not to give you a prediction. The value of these forecasts is to inspire you and to deliver the impulse to feel more deeply into perhaps what it is that resists in you, or what it is that keeps repeating. Yeah. So the value of the forecast, and with it obviously also your personal reading here from this clearing session that we just did, is in becoming more aware, becoming able to discern better, to discern what your true goals, your true needs, and your true wants are, so that you can see the way better, so that you can, like maybe confirm your inner impulses and hunches, yeah? Your intuition, your calling that is pulling you into your future. It's already there. This is why I can read this out, because it's already there. Yeah. And sometimes it means that we find information in here that, sounds kind of negative, and it sounds kind of like, oh, it's going to be a rough month, only to show us how to maybe look for new ways, look for new approaches, and to let go of trying to hold on to the old plan, if you will. Yeah. So May is such a month where you've been asked to change your approach, to change, these old sort of what you perceived as values based on your ego self, to let those go. If they're not serving you anymore, if they make you feel, overworked, undervalued, unsupported, then let it go. May is the month that gives you that impulse to say, no more. I'm done with this. I'm done. So these incoming May energies indicate more emotional instability and sort of a back and forth feel. The next 4 to 6 weeks are times of increased energy and increased momentum as the energy of spring reaches its peak in the Northern Hemisphere and the energy of autumn reaches its peak in the Southern Hemisphere. This energy will manifest in a variety of ways, such as increased motivation, creativity, and enthusiasm, but also in more unrest or agitation. So, on a global collective level, we can feel a sense of urgency, need for action as people become more and more aware of the challenges that the world is facing and the need for collective solutions. This, on a collective level, may lead to increased activism and advocacy in May as people seek to create positive change amid many unresolved issues. Some of these things are already visible here in these last days in April. I called it a mass quitting here in my own notes. Where these examples, such as what we saw with Bud Light, what we saw with Fox News here in the United States, where the consumers or the audience disagreed with corporate decisions and just quit buying the product. So this is a huge experience right now, here in the United States, for example, where the marketing strategy that the biggest beer company here, Anheuser-Busch, chose rubbed so many people the wrong way that their sales plummeted by over 17% in 1 week, and still growing. Still less and less people buying the product. This is huge. Okay. The same occurred here last Monday with one of the most popular anchors in one of the news channels here in the United States suddenly being fired. And the audience leaving the channel in just a few days. Okay, 70% of the audience dropped away. That's huge, guys. And it shows us the power that we have as consumers, as audience, as users. Please remember this, because May is the month that initiates this awareness in all of us, and it will continue until October, when we fully step into this as a collective. So as this advocacy or this need for activism comes in, at the same time, there may also be a need for more balance and grounding. So there could be unrests that come with that, because as these intense energies of spring and autumn can sometimes, lead to stress and anxiety in people. It can lead to lashing out, and this is especially a problem in some of our countries, as here in the United States. It may be important to find ways to stay centered and connected to one's inner self, such as through meditation, mindfulness, or spending more time in nature. Compared to the previous months in 2023, May will ask us to step into action and actively begin to allow some of our inner transformations to take on form. That's important. That's the big shift in May. But it has to happen with a common sense. So there is something about the simplicity of it. Easy steps in May that will help us to maintain focus and help us to regulate our own needs and goals without rushing, without getting too overzealous, which will most likely be the biggest challenge here in May. From an energetic perspective, our primary challenges will play out in our lower chakra areas. First, second, third chakra, root, sacral chakra, and solar plexus, in conjunction with our fifth chakra, which is the throat chakra, the way we express ourselves. So let me explain this here for a moment, because this is what many of us are maybe a little afraid of, because it's more emotional. Yeah, and it really, really rubs us in our sort of eco identity, if you will. Yeah, this is, if you'd ask me from an energetic point of view what the biggest challenge for me is, I would say it's the death of the ego, because that has to happen now. So all these things that are not true to us, yeah, they will come painfully forward for us in form of physical challenges, emotional challenges, and mental challenges. It will illuminate our regrets, our disappointments, and shattered dreams, which will force us to acknowledge or to reconsider our true needs. Oh, this is a big letting go, guys. On one hand, we are getting pulled into this deeper emotional, spiritual processing, such as asking for meaning, purpose, and fulfillment in life, which is a spiritual impulse, guys. It's important to understand. But on the other, we are trying to maintain the old status quo of our comfort zone. So you see the duality here. Yeah, this creates friction and energetic stress in us. And in addition, many of us have been going through physical or mental health challenges already, in these past years, which is also there to illuminate whether we are on the right path, or whether the stress that we have sort of unknowingly, unconsciously becomes complicit with is even worth it. It's even worth living for. So many of you would question if your jobs or where you live or your relationships are worth it, because you want more. You want deeper connection. So if you're feeling a bit displaced, lonely, out of touch, or out of sync with your true self these days, know that you're not alone. If you are energetically sensitive, you will feel this energetic weather condition in your body a lot, and it will feel like up and down and up and down. So quite taxing. Make sure that you don't get pulled into your negative inner self-talk. Just know that this is part of the outer weather condition. Instead, make it a daily practice to contemplate, or better even meditate on what needs to change, what you have been neglecting. Some unmet needs that are coming forward, and how you can bring those or this change about, no matter how small. So shift is a good thing in May. So even if it's a small shift, even if it's just you getting up, and going to a local coffee shop to do your work or whatever, to just change your environment, can, from an energetic point of view, have a huge impact, a huge positive impact on your energy management. Find the balance between your own and collective needs. We cannot find peace without being at peace with others. Very important. And of course, when these regrets, these sorrows, that we are being asked to connect with, when they come forward, don't allow yourself to get stuck in your misery either. Call a friend. We can always find a deeper connection by asking what others or the world needs. This is a very old wisdom. As you are willing to serve others without sacrifice, but from a deep inner need, for wanting to be of service, you are receiving a service from them, and you become the healer and the healed at the same time. That's very important. So as the world reveals more and more untruths and error perceptions, not just within ourselves, also on the outside, so do we. But the spotlight is on us now. Together, we are more powerful than as individuals. In the past weeks, as I mentioned earlier, we learned that we can stop buying or consuming products and services from corporations that have proven to have ulterior motives. It's very easy. This is our power. If we know what we can stand for and what aligns us with our values and with our worth and our integrity, then we can harness the power of this energetic month, on all levels. So recognize that every time you make a stance for your own true values, it's very important that there are true values, not your ego values, like who you truly are and what your true goals are, and also what your true needs are. You are leveling up. You're leveling up every single time you trust in your inner calling, you trust in that which is true and which is based on love within yourself. Anything that you don't love about yourself and you focus on that lowers your energy, it levels you down. So please be fully aware of this. What is going on here? That this global transformation that is happening with or without you. Anything that is not true or that we cannot do with love or love doing must go. Let go of what no longer works for you and allow your courage, your creativity, and your energy to find new ways to get to true stability and true self-worth from within. The more actively you engage with change, the easier it becomes. Trust me, it works. And the faster you can come to terms with how you've been giving your power away in the past, the easier it will be for you to reclaim it. So you have to come to terms with it. That's what accepting things the way they are means. It doesn't mean to be silent and to suck it up. It means to oh, okay, here, here I gave away my power, or this didn't go well, or here I violated my own integrity. All right, now I need to reclaim it. Anything you resist or repress turns into karma. Because that's what karma is for, to balance that back out. Whether you are able to complete that balancing act here in this lifetime or not is up to you. Whether you start dealing with karmic aspects from previous lifetimes, that's up to you to decode. This is what this looking into your karmic patterns means, because there you can see it. And as you can see it and understand it and forgive yourself for it, you are allowing it to transform you, which is the very, very purpose of karma. So do not be afraid of connecting with your sorrows, with, your broken dreams and your disappointments. Allow it to transform you. Transform it into more freedom, more truth, and more love in your life. Listen to your true calling by asking for your fundamental needs and wants to be revealed, no matter how much your ego resists. Face your fears and ask for change, and you will find that the universe will conspire to make it happen for you. This is the energy of May in a nutshell. And deep down, you know what it is. Your true self has been telling you all along. So summarizing, follow your sorrow, and it will show you the true path to more truth, more freedom, and more love in your life. How? By opening your heart, by connecting you with your passion. This is the time to step up and come out of the woodwork with what truly moves our hearts. And the simpler, the better. Stay conscious. I go on to explain the primary energy resonance in May here, what calling actually means. The Latin word for it is vocation. So, in terms of career, in terms of profession, we often call it vocation. But your inner calling isn't just about career, yeah, what you want to become when you're grown up. It's also about whom you want to experience this life. And here's a little quote that I prepared for you. Your calling is not leading you to a destination. Your calling is reminding you that it's a daily practice of following it. And those of you familiar with some of these metaphysical concepts, such as retrocausality and syntropy, for you, really what this means is remember that you're being pulled into the future by your higher self that has already laid out the plan. Yeah, your ego self perceives it as you can do whatever you want, and a lot of times your ego self thinks that it knows better, okay, than your higher self, which is where all the resistance occurs. So when I called it an ego death earlier, what I really meant to say was like, let go of your ego's opinions and views and stuff like that. There is no way to control life, and there's no way to control your karma either. All you can do is step into it and actively work with it, and that balances it out. It neutralizes it. And when I don't like the word so much, but when you level up in that way in your consciousness, then you begin to embrace it. You begin to recognize that you have been feeling this calling in you all along. So following one's inner calling means pursuing a path in life that aligns with one's deepest passions, talents, and values. It means listening to the whispers of the heart and the soul, allowing them to guide one's choices and actions. And when we follow our inner calling, we tap into a sense of purpose and fulfillment that cannot be found through external validation or material success alone. We find a sense of joy and meaning in our work, relationships, and daily activities. And we will feel more connected to our true selves and to the world around us. However, following one's inner calling is not always easy. You guys know this. It requires courage, patience, and the willingness to take risks and face challenges. It may also involve letting go of old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve us, and stepping outside of our comfort zones. Despite these challenges, following our inner calling is a journey worth taking. It allows us to live a life that is authentic and aligned with our deepest desires and aspirations, and it can bring a sense of purpose, passion, and meaning to our lives that is truly transformative. The phrase following one's calling implies a sense of purpose and direction in life that is guided by an inner voice or intuition. Yeah, so you're going to have to be able to hear that inner voice. If your critical inner voice is too loud, or if you're too distracted that you can't even focus on, for example, these sentences that I am providing for you here, yeah, then you can't hear this voice. You can't hear your intuition. And if you can't hear that calling, you can't follow it. Yeah? Only if you can hear it, you will notice that it suggests a very unique path for you and for your mission in life. specific to your skill set, to your talents, to your passions, and your values. So to follow one's calling is to honor and cultivate these inner qualities, yeah? Your strengths, your talents, your skills, what you're good at, what you love doing, and to use them to make a positive impact on the world. It requires a deep sense of self-awareness and a willingness to take risks and pursue one's dreams, even in the face of obstacles or societal expectations. The concept of following one's calling is typically associated with spirituality and personal growth. You all know this. Yeah? It involves a deep exploration of one's inner self and the willingness to embrace change and transformation. It is seen as a path toward greater fulfillment and purpose in life, as well as a way to make a meaningful contribution. When we combine this with our spirituality, yeah, and the divine wisdom that we tuned in last month, we recognize that it's not just about the fulfillment of our personal desires. Yeah, that's the ego voice, you know, avoiding pain and seeking pleasure. Yeah, the ego paradigm. Not about that. This is about the role you want to play in your life. So the contemplation for May that I suggested, has to do with allowing yourself to really feel your feelings. And then to ask yourself, what calling could be hidden underneath my greatest regrets? My greatest regrets and disappointments. And what would you do differently if you knew your calling? Those are, the deeper aspects here of what all these words actually mean. Yeah, and the energy alignment is attuned to this, so it helps you to allow your subconscious, okay, to align with your higher self and bypass your ego mind. Yeah? So inner calling means stepping into action and actively beginning to allow some of your inner transformations to take on form, but with common sense. Yeah, in May, that's really important. It requires us to balance, our needs and our wants, and to maintain focus and know how to regulate your own needs with your goals without rushing and without avoiding it. It will feel like a back and forth. And for many of us, it will be physically, emotionally taxing. Yeah, so some of you may have already had a little bit taste of this. So here during the session, guys, there's a lot of stuff that came forward in our sacral chakra that has to do with our kidneys, with our back, our lower back, yeah, feeling supported and being able to release all these absorbed energies. Many of you still absorbing too much energies from others or from your own repressed emotions. Yeah, so the sacral chakra has a lot to do with your emotional processing and with how you allow yourself to deal with your feelings. Yeah. The fifth chakra is then the one that puts it into action, that expresses it. So that's where you have to watch it here, because if you have, not really worked with your true feelings that much, it can be challenging for you to admit it to yourself. Yeah, that you have these feelings. One of the typical discussions um, that we have here is about anger. So many of you still feel bad about having feelings of anger. There's nothing bad about having feelings of anger, guys. This is a normal emotion. Yeah, being angry is a normal emotion, and it can be very powerful. It can lead you to finally saying no, to finally enforcing your boundaries and so forth. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with anger if you can find a healthy expression for it. And it's even, with sadness sometimes and desperation, there's nothing wrong with allowing yourself to feel, sad. Yeah, and to grieve, your broken dreams. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it can lead you to fully understanding, what it is that you truly want. Yeah, and then lead you to, this following this impulse to make the changes that are needed. So May will require the conviction to be true to yourself and to discover your true self-worth. Themes in May are, here summarized: action phase, agitation and restlessness, grounding and centering of new ideas. So these new ideas that are coming in, they're not all that mature yet, okay? They still need to be grounded. They still need to be tested. They still need to be, evaluated. Yeah, but some of it you will have to experiment with, finding new ways to get to your goals. That is, the purpose here. And so don't shy away from, trying new things. There is no such thing as mistakes. The only mistake you could ever make is to not live up to your true self, to your true, desires, your true goals, your true integrity, your true values. Enforcing new boundaries. So that's the cool thing for all of us codependents. Yeah, will be very easy for us to do this in May because we will be so fed up with pleasing others to the expense of our own inner connection. That'll be easy for us. So just make sure that you don't lash out or project it onto them. Just say, you know what, I'm no longer willing to do it, because that forces me to give up my own value or to violate my own integrity. Yeah, release what no longer supports you and have the conviction to stand with your truth. On a collective level, continued media, real estate, and bank war will challenge us and distract us. Yeah, and there will be more collective unrest, and there will be this mass quitting that I mentioned earlier. And yes, there will be more war talk. How is that really going to impact your journey? Not really. Okay, it's just a mirror. Now, there is an active power struggle going on right now with leadership, with authorities, with governments, corporations, because they have been overstepping their authorities. They have been trying to reduce freedom, and that creates karma. And that karma needs to be cleared out now. So this is the rest of the year, guys, for our collectives here is this global shadow clearing. So the code breaker for me is actively engaging with karma. Let your fear and sorrow transform you. The more actively you engage with this change, the easier it becomes. Yeah, I know that these recordings can be long sometimes, and I go really in there with this thoroughness for you to understand the month, because I am assuming or wishing, it's more like a wishing, I guess, that you go back to this recording throughout the month. Yeah. Because there are things that unravel in layers. Yeah. And this month has a bit of a sort of a shift within a shift. Yeah. Literally at the middle of the month, things are shifting again. Okay. So the code breaker tool here, as I call this, is our higher awareness. And when we can stand in our own light, it can allow all mistakes of the past to become important guidance. It shows us exactly what we no longer need, and with it ends our seeking for love and wisdom or validation or whatever outside of us. So remember this, guys. Syntropy, yeah, this is related to retrocausality, in that it reminds us that we're being pulled forward by our future into our highest potential. Yeah, there's a slow way and then there's a fast way. The slow way is karma. The fast way is us actively engaging with this. And it's not, that's the big error perception, as our ego mind tries to make us believe that we're being pushed forward by our past. Our past doesn't cause anything, guys. It doesn't. It just unfolded. It's our future that causes our present. Yeah, and it does that with or without us. Again, either in the slower or in the faster way. So when I can feel the connection with my higher self, I can realize that past, present, and future are merely constructs of the ego and not real. And that I need not to worry or judge, because everything that was or will be is already inside of me. That's what the active karmic journey means. So the main focus here, again, in May, is the courage to deal with your inner pain. Yeah, finding new ways of doing this, as I suggested, maybe sometimes by tuning into other people's pain and allowing it to guide and transform you. The main challenge is to let go of our false identities, and that's where this ego death comes in. The main opportunity that arises through that is a true and more active transformation. Right? You really stepping in, higher understanding, and finding your true purpose. That can then lead you to true connection. And true connection leads to more joy and fulfillment in life. So here you can see how these energies look like that are coming in very big here, yeah, on the grief, yeah, between apathy and fear. So this is where the disappointment and all that is big in May. Yeah, it's showing it to us, but at the same time, also the courage to step out of this and into what brings joy, what simplifies our life, what makes it easier for us to be who we truly are. So you'll see here the whole spectrum of these collective resonances that are coming in: desperation, disappointment, and the forced ego death. But at the same time, yeah, this happens simultaneously here, an opening of your heart. So May marks a true new beginning with new connections. And on our personal levels, chakra wise, yeah, those of us with strong karmic aspects, I count myself to this. Oops, this is a little difficult to read here. It really triggers our first chakra stuff, which, those people, or those of you who've already identified that you've got a lot of first chakra stuff, okay, that, it has to do with your fundamental needs and wants and, survival, money, okay, how to make your living. There's something here where you're not following your true calling yet, okay, that needs to be looked at. And the second chakra, yeah, and this is where we feel the pressure here, down your lower back, in, maybe also your hips a little bit, but mostly, in anything that has to do with, processing your emotions and releasing them. Yeah, your kidneys, yeah, your bladders, your urinary tract. You may have problems there because it has to do with self-worth, and the regrets that are coming forward, they need to be released. You need to let that go. Yeah? It's about here and now. Remember, you're getting pulled into your future. The past doesn't matter. It has shaped you, but it's not who you are. On your solar plexus level, it's about standing in your truth, making a stance. And with that, allowing your ego to dissipate, to transform, which brings in a relief. Yeah, this allows you then to more congruently express yourself and to work with your illusions, because, just because they weren't exactly how you thought they were doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means that they have to be more aligned. Yeah. So just like how in my life, for example, when I was like 15 or 20 or whatever, I would have never imagined in a million years that I would end up doing what I'm doing today. Never in a million years. That doesn't mean I was wrong back then, because all these different skill sets and these different careers that I had, that I picked up on the way. Yeah, by trying and like developing things and so forth. They all benefiting me now. Yeah? Allow that. Allow this impulse to come in. Yeah, and this is even in my journey, never ends. There still is more that needs to be unraveled. I can feel it. By the way, here the calendar for May, the energy calendar, will be online probably tonight. Will show lots of live sessions. So all the sessions for the Heart Warriors and Training Club members. So the Training Club is the 30-day subscription where you can do unlimited energy sessions. Now, all the sessions that are on the calendar here, they're all going to be live, which means that you can actively participate in them. It's voluntary. So if you don't dare or can't be there live, I'm obviously still working with your energy field, still protocoling it and so forth, so we can still discuss this in the forum. There is 2 workshops for the Sacred Self-Healing community, and as always, our monthly free Connect with Your True Self. The important dates are, again, the lunar cycles. But let me tell you that right here on the 1st of May, which is tomorrow, you'll feel this shift, tonight probably already. And whatever is coming forward in your month, I want you to think back to the time, end of 1999 and 2000, in the middle of 2011 till 2012. Those are little time capsules. Those are 12-year cycles that, unfold within our karmic journey. And there were things that already came to your awareness that are now needing to take on form. So, like 23, 24 years ago and 12 years ago. Contemplate about that. This is coming in here right on the 1st of May. Then noteworthy is the full moon on the 5th of May, based on universal time, that comes with a lunar eclipse that's only, even barely visible in Australia and Asia. But it is a very significant energy that is coming in there that is initiating. It's an initiation, really. It's more than just an illumination. It really shows exactly what you need to see. So if you are okay with the emotionality that can come with this, and just treat yourself maybe in a bit more loving way than you normally do, and allow the deeper connection with, these disappointments and regrets and so forth that I've already mentioned, and see how this wants to translate for you. And this can be a really, really important time for you. Further, then toward the middle of the month, there are some of these back and forth kind of energies that are coming in, and many of this will have to do with collective energies. There's new things that are going to be announced. There's lots of innovations that want to come in. Just think of AI and some of these developments. They will change our world forever. Same with the crypto dollar and all these things that I've been predicting for years. They're all taking on form now, guys. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is all real stuff, guys. Yeah, it's all coming in with or without you. Okay, and we have to find our stance with this, whether we want to participate in this. Huh? Just because we can see the dangers of AI and transhumanism and some of these developments, doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad or evil. Okay, you have to understand this about finding a balance here. Technological development is part of the human collective development. We have to learn how to work with it, how to responsibly deal with technology. It's part of our destiny, if you will, of our plan. However, in the process of all these announcements and innovations and more banks failing and everything, right at the middle of the month, you'll notice that there is a bit more of, let's say, an unrest starting because what these corporations and authorities have been trying to keep under wraps, it can no longer be hidden. So this revelation, this ongoing revelation of truth is still going on, guys. I told you this. It's going to be until October until we actually see, the full picture. Yeah. So to the middle of the month, there is, some stuff that we really, really don't like seeing, yeah, within our personal journey as well as collectively. And there will be lots of unrest because it will also show more than we already know, the injustice and, how monies have been um, distributed, in collusion and corruption cases. So this won't stop, guys, and there will be some big things here within the, China, Russia, U.S. Relationship that will then uh, lead to a new understanding of what these new alliances in the world are going to look like for the next years until 2027. Yeah, go back to the 23 to 27 forecast where I talk about this in more detail. So in the new moon phase around the 19th, 20th of May, when we also have the true self, there is a real sort of disruptor, like a reset kind of energy there, and it will make it more and more aware to us that we have to actively step in. Yeah, it's a new learning experience for all of us, guys, and don't neglect your own power to reclaim what was lost, what was given away. Yeah, never let yourself come to this defeatist stance where you just sort of let life happen to you. This is the big illusion of the dark. You have a lot of power, and the moment you step into it, you will feel the support. And what is coming down here in June, and then in May, and then continued in June, is going to show us also the power of the collective, yeah, of when we work together. So overall, this whole development here is still about finding new ways how to balance, the need for security but also the need for more freedom and more truth. Well, and ultimately then more love in our life, because that's where our passion and our true heart's transformational power lies, in our love. Yeah. But without freedom, there can't be truth, and without truth, there can't be love. So, yeah, let's go back to the drawing board, guys. Pull out your vision boards and work on your true goals. Very, very important for May. You have to know your own true intention. As always, guys, daily meditation is really important. Yeah, it's what we all need. But you can, of course, do this by yourself if you're part of the Sacred Self-Healing community. Have the step meditations, but you can also use the energy alignment. And as far as the energy work recommended here in May, it's karmic clearing. You see this on the calendar with the karmic relationship clearing, very important. Grace Gaia Sophia is also a very clearing, a very intense, spiritual and karmic clearing process, as well as, tuning into future, past, and higher self. As many of you know, these 3 sessions are aligned to the red of causality and help us to tune into our true calling. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to know how to participate in all these ongoing energy sessions, then check out the Energy Training Club. If you want personal energy coaching sessions, email me or book them in my shop. And come to our weekly online meditations or online energy talk with me, where you can ask direct questions. Thank you so much for coming, for sharing, and for participating. All the best to you. Stay conscious.
Inner calling. To love and peace within, I dedicate myself. I want to be one with my higher self, the part in me that is unchanging, eternal, and infinite. When I can silence my mind, body, and emotion, I can feel a subtle calling in me. A calling to connect more deeply with what brings joy, truth, and love into my life and the world around me. And yet, I often don't know how to follow it. Aligning myself to my body, mind, spirit, heart, and soul, I can learn to find the gateway to my higher self, my sacred heart. In there, undisturbed by the limitations of my ego, I can feel the connection with a greater reality. As soon as I let go of wanting to be someone I am not, I can feel supported, guided, and loved by Spirit. I can feel the power to choose my expression in this world and break free from all the illusions of the ego. So as I am finding deeper inner connection in this way, I realize that what I am longing for is the I am in me, the part in me that can remind me that I am not just a body, but a living soul spirit being. In this connection, I am filled with the knowing that I am here for a reason. It lets me feel my soul cell's purpose pulsing through me with everything that is loving, growing, and true to me. When I follow the path of my inner calling in this way, the gateway to my higher thinking and perceiving opens up, and my destination becomes crystal clear. As energetic spirit being of light, my purpose is to bring the love the divine has for me into this world through daily practice. Any thought, sentiment, imagery, or action that increases love, truth, and freedom in my life feeds and strengthens the relationship with my soul and the divine, and thus brings more peace and fulfillment into my life. But any thought, sentiment, imagery, or action that adds fear or hatred into this world feeds the darkness in me and shrivels my soul. When I can open my heart to my sorrows, regrets, and fears, and allow them to transform me, I can overcome the struggles of my ego self because I can understand and appreciate my karmic journey in a new way. When I can stand in my light, I can allow all mistakes of the past to become important guidance that show me what I no longer need, and thus end the seeking for love and wisdom outside of me. As I am learning this, and how my unconscious sensations, feelings, and perceptions can confuse or weaken me in my conviction, I can see that it's the unconscious part in me that pulls me into my ego's pain of the past or fear of the future, and all error perceptions that come with it. When I feel the connection with my higher self, however, I can realize past, present, and future are merely constructs of the ego and not real. And that I need not to worry or judge, because everything that was or will be is already inside of me. I realize now that my longing and seeking is a distraction of the ego. My true calling is to break free from my ego illusion here in 3D and to overcome the darkness and loneliness of my inner separation from my true being. I could not see this before. No more. I am done with creating karma through unconscious choices or coping. No more. I am done with getting distracted by toxic thoughts and emotions projected onto me. No more. I am done with trying to please others to the expense of my inner connection. Higher self, I hear your calling now. I can feel how every thought, emotion, word, or action either strengthens or weakens our connection. I realize that you have always been there, right here, in the middle, in my sacred heart, protect and guide me. Due to the power of this conscious awareness, I can forgive myself for dismissing my true feelings in the past. This unconscious behavior led me into my fears and darkness of my own shadow. Being aware of the conscious soul self that I am changes everything. I now choose to follow only the guiding voice of my higher self. Whenever I can remember this, I can trust in my heart's clarity and neutralize and let go of all external influences that do not serve my highest good, and more, I can feel the courage needed to get past all my challenges. I realize now what I feel as my calling is my spiritual journey, the way of consciously being and living in truth according to the higher wisdom chosen in this way. I am ready to discern and consciously choose what spirit I serve, what I need, and what I want, without fear, lack, or judgment. I am ready to stay present and consciously discern all that nourishes or shrivels my soul, all that I allow in and what I put out. All that I ingest or expose my body to. All that I energize with my thoughts. All that I project and absorb through my unconscious emotions, and with it, all that I express with my words, attitudes, and actions into this reality. I herewith dedicate my energy only to what brings clarity and courage, what heals me, what empowers my true being, and what nourishes my soul. I am fully aware of the importance of making everything a conscious choice, because I understand that I not only have the authority and power to choose who I want to experience this life as, but also that others have this choice as well. Now, I can rest in my heart with the courage to love my higher self